The tank was originally started in 2006 by 3 seniors for their senior project. And that was in the old Baker. And then when we redid Baker, we got this brand new tank. It's 180 gallon cold water, saltwater tanks. And the reason why it's cold water is that and I sometimes take my class to Woods Hole, so if we gather any critters from the Massachusetts shore, we can just pop them in the tank, so it's the same environment. There's the aspect of walking by and seeing what's in the tank, and it's just sort of visually kind of appealing, and kids can be curious. And then secondly, I do use it in my classroom. So we just use it, like I said, for when we're talking about variety of organisms. I try to have samples in the tank. We pull them out and hold them, and they get a first-hand experience to kind of bring what we're talking about to life. I would have to say it has to be Olive, our octopus. Olive was, like I said, we've had maybe 7, but she was the best. And she was learning to open a jar to get food, and she was very personable. And I have this hydrometer I would throw down, and she would catch it and let go, and it would shoot back to the top. And then there's a PVC pipe that's still in the tank. And one day she was in the PVC pipe and she didn't come out for her food, and I was like, that was kind of strange. And then days would go by and she still hadn't come out, and then I looked really closely and she had laid eggs. And unfortunately, when an octopus lays eggs, it means she's gonna die. So that made me really sad. And I remember the date. It was like June 5th. It was the day I was giving it a science exam. And I came in to grab something, and there were thousands of little baby octopus everywhere. They had all hatched. If there was a crack or crevice, they literally were everywhere. And I didn't know what to feed them. I didn't, unfortunately, they're also cannibalistic. And, we got a couple to live a couple of months, but I couldn't maintain it. So it can also be quite sad having these wonderful organisms, and they have a short lifespan. I have a water filtration system where I get pure water because I can't take it straight from the tap, and I can only make 2 gallons an hour. So I'm constantly filling up buckets and putting it in a big 25-gallon container. Then I add salt to it. It's a special salt for tanks, and get it to the right salinity. So down below the tank, this is called a protein skimmer. So any bodily functions from the organisms or any waste, it collects at the top. So when I do a water change, I siphon it from the top, and then I refill it back down here in the bottom.
So I'm doing an independent study in marine biology this quarter with Ms. Henderson. In addition to the research component, I also did a lot of work learning how to do the tank. Ms. Henderson does not get enough credit for how much work she does with the tank. She is in here day after day doing this whole thing by herself, and I was like, this is so cool, and it's so underappreciated. So it's all these animals that you spend a lot of time taking care of and observing and learning about, and then they die, but such is the life of a researcher, I guess. And then the third big component of my project is preparing the tank for the pajama squid, which you have seen or will see in this video. So setting up the tank for the pajama squid is a whole thing because you have to season the tank. You have to have the right bacteria in the tank so that it can handle the overload of nutrients, the testing. Now it's really great to have the squid here. I feel like all my work has paid off just because it's such a cool cephalopod, and to observe its color changes and just its feeding is so cool. But yeah, I'm really glad that I did an independent study. I feel like it's allowed me to learn beyond the curriculum and use the resources that Nobles has, to get a skate or a pajama squid. Even though those resources, they're available, you just have to ask.